Hello, hello, welcome, and it is the 4th of March, and what an exciting day it is. Axel is here with me in the hot seat. Good morning.
Good morning, Angeline. Another exciting day today, that's for sure. What did we see yesterday? Crazy.
I know, it was insane. The markets just whipsawing everywhere, and the Dow Jones Industrials finally settled around down 0.8%. But after being down way more than that,
it's quite incredible because we basically saw, I think, the European markets, DAX down 4%, Italy, Spain all down, and the Dow dropped over 2 and something, and then it came all the way back. So it actually formed a hammer formation on my charts. So that's kind of interesting because it may mean that we're hammering out a bottom, at least short term, over the next few days.
Hammering out a bottom.
Yes, on the candlesticks. So yeah, look at your candlesticks. They can give you an indication of what's happening, but it doesn't mean that we've made a bottom. We need to actually close above the high from yesterday's hammer formation for us to, let me just show you that very quickly, by the way.
Let's take Axel's charts, people.
To see what it is doing. So on the IG bed, the hammer isn't quite there, but you can see here it's still a similar pattern where you've got a long shadow taking you down to levels last traded in December. And then us recovering, but that on its own doesn't mean that's the end of it. So we would have to rise above yesterday's high for us to sort of have a reversal to the upside. And right now we're just trading water, trading sideways. And I wouldn't be surprised if today volatility in general is going to decrease a bit compared to yesterday.
Interesting, because yesterday we were very close to that 24 mark, weren't we? That kind of like red hot, 24 often is when things start to get really tricky. What's also interesting is that the NASDAQ also closed only about 1% lower, even after tech stocks were slammed. We also saw bonds seeing pressure, oil, of course, surging before then moderating slightly. Asia as well, very interesting session.
Yes, we saw the Kospi down 11% at one stage. That's brutal.
Yeah, and Nikkei also extending declines down around 2 to 3% in early trading. Of course, it's settled now. But take a look at my chart here. I made one so that you get a quick snapshot of what happened overnight in case you didn't catch it. Of course, the Israeli and US strikes on Iran continued as well. And as you saw from yesterday, it's a continuation of this organized evacuation flights. Although, patching into did you catch the Michael O'Leary live press conference yesterday?
No, because I don't care. I know you do.
I do very much.
I was watching Trump with the German Chancellor, so that was very interesting.
Well, the interesting thing about Michael is that he has been speaking to the heads of the Gulf to try and obviously reopen airspace. And it's interesting to always get two views of the side, right? Those in the business sphere and those also in the political sphere, because sometimes those in the business sphere might give you a better indication of what's happening on the ground. Of course, we've got so much social media, so much noise these days. Sometimes I find that listening to what they're saying, when I know that there's a key meeting that he's had with, the likes of the Saudis, the Omanis, might give us a better reality check of what's happening on the ground. Otherwise, there is still overwhelming, especially the markets indicating that risks haven't gone away and they might escalate. Western nations currently scrambling, as I said, to arrange these emergency evacuation flights. We also have Trump offering US government-backed insurance for tankers in the Persian Gulf. This is a move aimed at preventing a shipping crisis.
Yeah, basically what we've seen since yesterday is de-risking momentum trades, because after all, these markets like the Kospi came off 11%, but they made all-time record highs. So you're seeing momentum shifting, but it's not a structural breakdown yet. But also it may not turn into one. We may not see a bear market because we were worried about, things happening like US bases being hit with missiles. We've seen that. We were worried about potentially the countries that have these bases being attacked. We also saw that, missiles, debris at least falling onto Oman, Dubai, and so forth. And then we were worried about the Strait of Hormuz. And that's effectively been shut. So we had all three things together, and yet the Dow's down, not even 1%? So that's telling you that it's not bear market fears yet. If you also look at the VIX, I'll just get it up on my chart here very quickly, the volatility
22
index.
right now.
It's not, I mean, it's nothing particularly bad, because if you look at my chart here, we're back at sort of 24, we went to 24, 22. So back to the October highs, but nothing like the highs we saw back in April with Trump. I mean, there we went up to 37. So it's not that bad yet. We don't know how things will turn out, because as things progress, you never know, as Chris, I believe, said earlier this week, it's easy to start a war, you never know how it's going to end.
And certainly, even the experts, like Pauline Neville, who was with us yesterday, the Baroness, she's been advisor to David Cameron, John Major. She's on the security task forces, currently a member of Lord's Conservative peer as well, and ex-security minister for the UK. She said in the interview with me that she thinks the Americans were kind of shocked because they started this and they then were surprised that Iran then spread the conflict to the rest of the region, as opposed to just directing it at the US. So she says she doesn't think that this was started with any end game or end date in sight. And so there's a real risk, she says, that this might just rumble on.
Well, that is exactly the problem. And also, if you look at the Patriot missiles that countries like Oman, Abu Dhabi, and so forth, I mean, the Emirates, have, if Iran continues to send missiles and drones over in the numbers it has done over the last few days, for the next week or so, they're probably going to run out of those. And what happens then? So, yes, I mean, it's by all means not over, that's for sure. But the initial reaction hasn't been as bad as some feared it might be.
And we are seeing some evidence of this, some evidence of early stabilization, if we can call it that. So the FTSE is up almost 0.5% there. The DAX up 2/3%. Let's just have a look at the movers and shakers for you. Axel, got Intertech, Experian, Smith and Nephew.
So that's interesting. Experience probably bouncing back from yesterday, I guess. I don't know. It's a mixed bunch here, isn't it? I mean, you've got a bit of everything. So it's just a relief, I guess, from yesterday that perhaps things might quieten down. I can't discern any particular pattern here, to be honest. Can you?
No, it's all really mixed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some of the ones that have been hit quite hard, coming back, obviously, some of the miners have been hit hard as well. We saw gold and some of the precious metals being slammed yesterday. Lots of clients reaching out going, why was this? Well, it was because some market participants choosing more to go towards the dollar. And also there was this trimming, right, of the rate cut bets as well.
Plus, if you have margin calls and you need liquidity, which a lot of the bigger funds maybe did, you might sell what is not going down, which is gold and silver. So it's also for liquidity purposes that we saw that sell-off.
And I guess the other interesting thing here is some of the travel stocks or travel related coming up. Intercontinental Hotels Group is up 1.5% there. Let's have a look at perhaps some of the airlines. Let's see, IAG was hit because I was thinking yesterday, oh my goodness, I hope Andrew McKelvey is not still in this, because he was end of last year. That, as you can see there, up 0.2% after that really painful last few sessions. If you can see this on my chart here, I'm going to add it so you can see it. There we are. And let's have a look at some of the others. Ryanair also up 0.75% there. And I suspect the same will be for EasyJet. There we are, up 0.5%. 0.4%. Actually, it's come down a bit now, up 0.25% there.
Shall we have a look at the FTSE losers?
Yes, let's have a look at that.
See whether that's a mixed bunch as well or not. So here we have
Vistry.
Interesting. We have UK house builders where we've got Persimmon results out soon, and we have Barrett's here, so that's interesting. And also the oil companies such as BP coming down quite a bit. Yeah.
Well, they have had gains, quite big gains recently. But also, don't forget, energy is going to be, I think, continually interesting. Pricing continuing to drive bond markets lower as inflation outlooks become more uncertain. Those of you that are in mining, like myself, I had a point of epiphany at 3 p.m. yesterday. I think if Axel saw me running around the trading floor looking slightly concerned, was because I was trying to debunk or confirm a theory that popped into mind. One is that if this is prolonged, then energy prices are obviously going to remain elevated. If you are exposed to a lot of miners like myself, that means higher input costs, and that means a squeeze on margins. So I ran some calculations. Those of you in miners as well, like myself, energy costs roughly make up a third of their costs. So just keep that in mind if you are in this space. Let's take a quick look elsewhere too, because of course we have had a lot of defense stocks moving, but Germany, this is the picture there early.
Well, here we've got SAP, so technology stock bouncing back from yesterday's very, very sharp sell-off. Munich reinsurance, so they're just basically bouncing back because after all, we dropped 4% yesterday, which is a huge, huge decline. So I wouldn't read too much into it. I mean, what we'll need to see is what happens over the next few days towards the end of this week. Because I can tell you, if we get another drone or missile hit on oil infrastructure or LNG infrastructure in the Persian Gulf or in the Middle East in general, be that whether it's a shot down drone or missile or whether it's a direct hit, especially if it's a direct hit, I think the market will once again worry and the oil price will spike higher. Talking of oil, if we look at my chart here, Brent crude oil now up to nearly $84 per barrel. So clearly not coming off these highs, and that is taking us to levels last seen in July of 2024. And technically speaking, I mean, now that we've taken out all these previous highs going back to October 2024, January 2025, etc., I wouldn't be surprised if we see further upside if one of these events I just talked about were to happen. So I know people talk about $100, $120. Again, we haven't risen to these levels yet, even though we have effectively a closure of the Strait of Hormuz, and Donald Trump knows that as well. So he'll do his utmost to get insurance for all of this shipping to go through there. But even if that happens and you have one or two tankers being hit by missiles, well, then again, you can probably see a further flare up in the oil price. So just be wary of that.
Yep, definitely. And also, I've been on the line at the weekend with my ex-colleagues all across Dubai and Abu Dhabi as well. The main concerns there are, we haven't even seen, there's this risk of sleeper cells, as we've heard the Iranians mention. So just keep that in mind. They've warned about the sleeper cell activity. We have not seen that yet. Lots of people joining the chat this morning. Good morning to all of you. It's great to see so many names that are familiar to us. We've taken a look at Brent already with Axel. Any more to add there, Axel, in the coming days?
Well, as I say, it will very much be driven by geopolitics more than anything. Yeah.
We also have a comment on Shanghai silver price premium there, up almost 14%. And also Vistry, thank you very much. It is indeed. Let's have a look there for you. Vistry is down and down a huge amount, almost 20% there, now down 19.5%. This is after the CEO change and also the fact that they lowered their 2026 0.6 margin forecast. Greg Fitzgerald is to retire as chair in May 2026 and from the role of CEO by March 2027. Not looking like it is well received there. What else is moving? Let's have a look. I thought I saw Beasley moving earlier. Let's have a look at that. Oh, it's not moving right now, but it was earlier. We've also got some of the house builders, as Axel mentioned earlier. Let's have a look at my UK house builders list there, and some of that as well. Barrett Redrow saying its CEO, David Thomas, is going to retire. Lots of people stepping down from the helm here.
Yeah.
This is after I think more than a decade at the top of the UK's biggest house builder. And Dean Banks is going to be the next chief executive.
What's also interesting is cryptocurrencies once again. If we look at my chart, we've got Bitcoin. I talked with you about this I think a couple of days ago, hitting that resistance area and coming off it yesterday. But again, we have a pretty long shadow here to the downside. So the body is basically the difference between the open and the close. And then the shadow is just the extreme to the lowest point here. And today we're heading back up again. So it'll be interesting to see whether Bitcoin can break through all of these recent highs going back to February of this year or not. Because if that were to be the case, who knows what might happen? We may actually get some interest again in these cryptocurrencies. And the volatility is picking up again because the past 2 weeks or so, you can see we have very little sort of small range candles here. Now the ranges are becoming bigger. And interestingly enough, and this is the change for me technically speaking, in the last week or so, we've seen bigger candles, the green ones, to the upside than we've seen red candles to the downside. And that's telling you that from a sort of psychological point of view, there seems to be more demand to the upside here to buy cryptocurrencies again.
Yeah, looks like the bulls might be edging in.
They're trying to break through that resistance. Yeah.
I love it when Axel talks about change in character, change in personality. Sometimes you see this acronym creep up, CHOC, and one that I saw late overnight, which got me particularly excited. Some of you might have seen me talking about this, is Netflix. So Netflix is one that I said stay away from because it had this M&A madness that has now since cleared. So I'm just going to show this quick chart because to show you why I was slightly excited. So this has got the cloud, the Ichimoku cloud on it, and it's crept up. Price action has crept up into the cloud there, as you can see, and the blue line is also crossing or attempting to cross that red line there. So those of you watching Netflix as well, this is my alert pinged yesterday to I have alert set so that when price action crosses into the cloud, I get a ping. This might be time for you to look at this chart.
Another one which is interesting is the US dollar, because if you look at what happened with regards to the US currency, it's basically flight to safety flows into the US dollar, which normally happens when there is a war or a crisis. And you can see here that we tried to, and we briefly actually did rise above the January high and traded at levels last seen at the end of November here with regards to the US dollar basket. The question is, can we get a daily chart close above those the highs we saw in January or not? So far, we haven't managed to do so because that is basically needed from a technical perspective for us to confirm this trend line break and for us to head then towards the highs we saw in November. So we're talking 100 again. And the interesting thing is the euro, especially after what Donald Trump said about the Spanish and also the Germans yesterday. Not to mention the Winston Churchill comment to do with the UK, but we'll come to that later.
Was it the third time that he'd decided to, or the second It's like he keeps on going on about it.
Yeah. I mean, he's just very, very upset that the Spanish and we didn't give our bases to the Americans, which we didn't do for legal reasons. So anyway, but long story short, the euro doesn't really like it. And you can see here a very sharp decline in the euro. And here, technically, what's interesting is we went intraday below the January lows, but didn't close below here. So I want to see a close below 115.78, in which case perhaps we could go back to the November lows we saw. And basically it's more or less the inverse of what we saw on the US dollar basket chart. But as long as we hold here, we may stabilize. But yeah, interesting charts at the moment. And because we talked about the Winston Churchill comment and Donald Trump laying into not just Keir Starmer, but also the UK in general, you can see here cable also slipping below its mid-January low, but again, not closing below it and holding so far. So it'll be interesting whether the US dollar can continue its advance or not. It probably only can do so if there is more geopolitical risk happening at the moment.
What's interesting is Baroness Neville-Jones said that she thought it was, her opinion was, if Starmer were to do this again, and in hindsight, he should have just agreed rather than capitulate later on. And also a key thing, of course, is that, to keep an eye on the trade embargo in Spain. IBEX have got that up right now. Spain 35 is what it's called on the IG platform, because this could face bigger tests going ahead. Sergio Avila Luengo, who is our analyst on the ground over there, saying that this is no longer background noise. Trump said he could stop everything related to Spain and impose an embargo after Sanchez's government refused to allow the Rota and Bolron bases to be used for military operations against Iran.
Is that a 3-minute chart you've got on there? Maybe you want to put the daily on.
Yeah, let's have a look at that.
So people can see that, exactly, the sharp drop because of this. So yeah, not looking good at all. And if you compare it to the Dow chart we looked at earlier, it's got nothing to do like that, because it hasn't got the long shadow to the downside. It's really a big pattern to the downside, which is very negative. Whereas the Dow managed to sort of regain some of its losses yesterday and only closed down 0.9% lower.
And for those of you that are in the Spain 35 for the IBEX, just make sure you've got your stops on, because you don't want to be caught off guard there. Speaking of which, just a quick update on my positions. I know many of you were asking, and I'm going to show you. Some of them held really well. Some of them are in the red, but that is to be expected. Many of the miners yesterday also, slipping slightly into the red, but still not so much that I am concern there. Diploma also holding nicely. Mama's Creations, interestingly enough, has also been holding well for me. Only very, very slightly. I think it was £2 in the red there, which I don't mind really. But if you have a look, yesterday was a red day for me. Even Pensana was hit there, and my Kefi Minerals. On that note, loads more comments coming on. Thank you very much for those of you that are commenting there. I see all of them. There's one saying that oil going to skyrocket to $150. Well, the thing is, the chart and the trend is your friend. So keep an eye on that, and also keep an eye on the news, because we know that oil, WTI and Brent, very much linked to geopolitics there. But your comments on that, Axel, as you recently had a period of the week?
Yeah, I mean, they're still bullish, that's for sure. But for practical reasons, what you may want to do if you are worried about this happening, buy oil for your car, motorbike or whatever, and store some, because you're going to pay less for it now than if it does go up to $150. But jokes aside, I mean, you may actually want to do that, because in the past, what we've seen sometimes in the UK at least, is shortfalls. Now, I don't think it's going to happen this time around, but we saw I think pump prices go up already 1.5 pence yesterday, and if this continues, we might see another 3, 4, 5 pence rise over the next few days. So.
Yeah. And so on that note, it seems like Chris is listening in as well. He's just sent a message saying, seen by nearby vessel, Russian LNG tanker explodes in the Med. So we're still waiting for more confirmation on that. But keep your alerts on, keep your eyes on the filters if you have that at your disposal. And it's going to be a really busy day. What are you up to, Axel, after this?
Just putting out fires left, right, and centre. So very busy.
For those of you with questions to Axel, I'm off to the UK Thai Investment Summit. After this, I'll be speaking to the heads of Thai Airways, CP, which is a big agri import-export conglomerate. TPP also will be there, as well as the Thai ambassadors to the UK. Any questions at all, please send them to us and we will try and get them answered. Do hit the like and subscribe button, and no question too difficult. Whatever you're doing, may stack the odds in your favour.